All right, Fan Nation, we've got another one from the University of Washington because as a local native to the Pacific Northwest, I felt it was my duty to get as many of you guys for some local representation as we could. I have Tevis Bartlett from UW. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Just kind of enjoying the process, taking it all in right now.
Yeah, you guys had a long morning, some speeches, some seminars. How'd that go for you?
It was good. I mean, just learned a lot about the financial aspect of it, kind of what the agents do. And then, kind of got some inside information, from people that have been in the front office and kind of how how they grade people, what their process on the other side looks like. So it was definitely very informative and, just trying to take lots of notes and, apply it to what I'm doing.
I mean, I imagine you guys hear a lot of the same thing, kind of like preaching to the choir at some point. But, you guys are young athletes that obviously you're here for a reason. You want to make sure that you have exhausted every resource and option that you have to you. I imagine that's what brought you to CGS. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean, what's really cool about this one that I think is different from a lot of the other, like the NFLPA game and those games is like all the seminars and stuff we did this morning, kind of, the information part of it. And we figured, because it's kind of right after the season, it'd be a good experience to go through and learn. And then that way, the next, couple months we kind of have, some information to pull from. And so that plus, like you said, I mean, it's a good opportunity to play against some really, really good players and kind of show, what else I can do.
Yeah, Jose, the one of the co-founders of this, I asked him, I said, what is it that makes CGS special? Because, I started my podcast and my show because I wanted to do things kind of differently than ESPN had started to mold into, kind of a TMZ Sports. Mm-hmm. And he said that he started his for a similar reason, that you have like the Senior Bowl and the All-Star Bowls and all these bowls, but, you have these guys that you're only seeing offense for half the game and defense for half the game, and then the guys that are, second string or whatever, they might even get a chance to get out there. He said, this is not a game. It is you guys showcasing your skills out there in front of NFL scouts and scouts from the AAF, one of the new leagues, and, several other entities out there. So he said, you can either do a bowl game, and you still can, but you can also come to CGS and kind of get that one-on-one, and then most importantly, that knowledge that you guys got this morning. So I think you guys are in for very informative and very, great experience for the next 3 days. And so hopefully you guys, this is just one more thing to add to that resume. Like, is that kind of how you see it in the resume builder?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's really a unique setting too, where they give us pretty much, this entire afternoon is going to be talking with scouts. Yeah. And just being able to get, in front of them and kind of let them know who we are before, pro day even. Because, I mean, a lot of people, that's the first time they're going to be able to actually, sit down and talk with these guys. And so I think overall it's a great resume builder. It's a great experience. And, at the end of the day, like, I've met a bunch of cool guys already that, hope the best for and get a kind of root for, as they go on, as you go on. And so it's a pretty cool, unique setting. Everybody knows that we're all here trying to do the same thing. So it's a lot of fun.
And your defense, right?
Yep.
Which I love. I'm a pro defense guy. So after the seasons that you've had and your tenure at UW, is talking one-on-one to a scout, is that literally the only thing left that could intimidate a guy on the defense like you?
Yeah, I don't even know what to expect. I know that, from some of the guys that come back that, throughout the years, they'll come back and be like, yeah, they ask just these weird questions, and it's
I've heard some. Like,
and
what?
So, yeah, I mean, it's not like, I've done a job interview before multiple times, but this is a totally different kind of job interview where they're, asking tons of different questions just to see how you think, see how you react, stuff like that. And so, we've already filled out probably, 5 or 6 questionnaires since we've been here.
Jeez.
Done, the psych test, the reaction test, all the different things. And, I've only been here for about 24 hours. So, it's an exciting kind of weird. I don't know if I would say intimidated. I'm just going to go be myself and, hope that's
all you really can do.
Yeah, right? They already know most of what they want to know about you. They just want to know if, that's what you're going to tell them.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I talked with your guy, Bowman. Of course, he said he was kind of a local. Where are you from originally?
I'm from Wyoming.
Wyoming,
Yep.
okay. So,
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't exactly fish out of water to go to Pacific Northwest, even though Seattle's a bit different of an environment culturally.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. That was one of the big things, I wanted to kind of change it up. I had some offers from, like, Utah and Iowa that are great places, but very similar to Cheyenne, Wyoming. And so, to go to Seattle, still outdoorsy, but just totally different, culturally. It's a city versus rural, right? Like, but I learned a ton of stuff just about life in general. The food out there is amazing. Salmon, wherever you want to go. I mean, it's
right.
It's the best around. And
Great seafood.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, it was definitely a different experience, but it was something that I've, definitely took a lot, not just, football-wise, but in life as well. Now,
I'm going to ask you what it was like to be a Husky, but I want you to keep in mind that really the question is, we have rivalry in college football, right? In all of sports, but it's sort of its own beast at the collegiate level of football. And when it comes to the Apple Cup, that can make or break either of your guys' seasons, you or Wazoo. So what was that like, your tenure there, just to be a Husky and have that rivalry game on the calendar each year?
I think, and I was a transplant, right? Like I didn't know really about the Apple Cup until I got to Washington. But I can just tell that, I think every year there was, something at stake. I'm pretty sure my freshman year it was like if Wazoo won, they were going to go to the championship.
Yeah.
And then my sophomore year, it was the winner went. And then last year, 2 years ago, it was if Wazoo won, then they were going, right? And then last year it was the same thing, winner goes. And so to have that on top of a rivalry game was just – it's incredible. It's one of the best things. Like that's why everybody goes to the Pac-12 or to any school to play football. Is for games like that to go, be in these championship games, these other big games, and it was a lot of fun playing against those. I mean, those guys are, college football is a different thing. Like people, they always want to be kind of critical or whatever, and everybody else knows the answers. But, you ask any college football player, they kind of sympathize with each other regardless of we're rivals or not. We all know we're trying to, go out there and
get
compete
to that next level.
And do your best. And so playing against those guys was a ton of fun. I mean, and especially this last year, that was so awesome for, our last regular season game to be a snow game, where it was two really good teams. And I know that for, probably 60 to 70% of the guys on the field, that was the first time they had ever seen snow, let alone playing in it. So it was definitely a lot of fun the last couple of years playing there.
Well, hey, man, I wish you the best of luck. You guys represent Pacific Northwest well. It's been a pleasure to have you on. So once again, Tevis Bartlett, UW. Go Huskies, man.
Thank you.
Take care.